Hey, what's up, team? I hope everyone's doing well. In today's video, we're going to be checking out these cats, Blockies, Defender version 05. And if you're wondering why all the other cast members are here, well, it's because every new subsequent Defender release enhances and complements the previous one, and so that's why I got all the other guys here, so that we can see how they mix and match and synchronize with one another, and we're going to check that out today. In terms of table of contents, we'll be checking out Team Combaticon first and previewing their Bruticus with a little help from Devastator. And up next, we'll be checking out Team Galvatron and the boys and seeing how the Unicron Squad is shaping up. And then afterward, checking out the Brothers of Lambos and seeing how they handle. And then we'll be checking out perhaps the most intriguing members of the set, Team Jetfire and Skyfire. And it wouldn't be a party without the Lord and Savior of the franchise, Optimus Prime, this time in Jolly Rancher form along with Roller and the trailer. And to cap off the review, we'll be taking a look at Viewfinder and Shattered Glass Soundwave. And so, how does that sound? Haha, get it? Taking a look at Viewfinder and Soundwave? Forget it, man. Let's get into it. Alrighty, for your viewing pleasure, I have mocked up Bruticus using the Devastator parts. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? I actually flipped over the waist because I looked a little too Devastator for me. But yeah, just imagine this. Imagine the legs cast in, are they blue or silver? Or whatever color they are, for Bruticus. Imagine they're cast in the different color. And you can see we got Brawl and Swindle there fully configured. And that looks really, really nice. And imagine the arm bots, Blast Off and Vortex, being configured here. And I'm going to imagine that the forearms are not going to look like this, but they're going to look like the individual limb bots just because that's how Bruticus looks. The shoulders. These are currently plugged into the side over here using the Devastator adapter, but I think for Bruticus, they're going to have a two-prong system because the single-prong system in Devastator, it oftentimes fell out, and so I love the fact that they are enhancing and upgrading the combining mechanism, but yeah, that's how we can envision it looking. So let me just kind of remove these for now, and you can see that these are going to be the combining ports for the Bruticus chest, and I'll show you how this converts back into Onslaught. And same thing for Swindle as well. The feet are borrowed from Classics Class Megatron from Transformers 1. But yeah, man, this is how he's going to look. And I wish I could kind of use the Devastator chest, but unfortunately the prong is just a little bit too short to be able to mock it up. But you can kind of imagine. You can kind of imagine what that's going to look like. And I think that's really, really neat. Another really cool thing is that this is going to be the first time in the history of the Transformers fandom where the Constructicons are going to be able to engage in the Scramble City gimmick with all the other combiners. Imagine a Superion, a Menasor, a Bruticus with a Mixmaster or Scrapper. That's so cool, isn't it? I absolutely love that. Finally, after all these years, the gang gets to be included in this, and I think it's marvelous. Really, really, really nice. But let me show you how Onslaught and Swindle break down and how they convert into their regular vehicle forms. Okay, so this is the torso right now, and these bits will pop off. This is actually a part of the rear trailer, and these little tabs, they're actually plugged in brilliantly into these slots that you can't really see because they're part of some like translucent bits that make up the windshield, and I think that's really, really cool. And that's where the waist was plugged in earlier, and for this, we're just going to plug it up with, I don't know what you call this, a fender, a bumper, a grill, but yeah, you're just going to plug that in, and again, just beautifully hidden mechanism over here. This you don't need to remove, but for the sake of clearance, you can do so. And this is going to be the centerpiece of the back part of Bruticus, or excuse me, of Onslaught. And then from here, we're just going to plug this in, left and to the right. And after that, we will reattach the dual blasters, and that's it. And he looks great, doesn't he? He's so nice. And again, you can see the alluding to the combination mechanism over here with the shoulder connectors. This freely moves around on a ball joint. Great, brilliant deco with the chevrons and the Decepticon symbol. And he looks very, very, very nice, man. Incredible work by the folks at Blockies. And so now let me show you Swindle. Okay, for Swindle, it's pretty basic. We're just going to remove him, remove the knee joint, excuse me. Then we're also going to get that little bit in the front, and we're just going to pop that on. And just insert that very, very securely. And so in the event that you have some difficulty, just kind of get a spudger in there to remove it, okay? And this foot, like I mentioned, is from Megatron, but it works out great. And you can just pop that off, and pretty much you're almost done with the vehicle. Just need to bring this up. And there you go, Joe. Very, very nice in this vibrant, bright mustard yellow, and I'm really digging that. He does come with his armaments, and they kind of sit off-centered, and it's supposed to be like that. And I think that looks fine, but for some reason, I remember it being centered. Am I wrong in that? And it does have a central port over here as well, where you can kind of fix this if you wanted it to be directly in the center. But it does kind of push it to the forefront of the vehicle, and I don't know if I really like that. But nonetheless, you can do whatever you like. It is your toy, your joy. And again, great paint, great deco, great materials, and yeah, man. I just can't say enough great things about the Blockies crew and all the things that they are doing in the current toy fandom space right now. And so yeah, kudos to them. And so let's move on to some of the other members of DV05. All right, and now to the Prime section of the video. So this dude is pretty much the same as this guy. Same decos and everything, except that he is cast in clear plastic, and he looks really, really nice. And in my personal fanfic, this is the ghost of Optimus Prime, and his eyes almost look like they have some type of like glowing effect, right? That is just so cool. He doesn't come with the blaster, but he does come with the Energon axe, so that kind of like 360 completes all the accessories for your bot mode Prime. And speaking of that Energon axe, it is actually stored within the trailer. And this trailer really, really completes this Defender Alt Mode Prime, and I'm going to show you how they play with one another. And so you can start by opening this trailer door. That's a ramp, of course, and this opens up, and this is where the Energon axe is stored. And so you can pop that off. It's just on a ball socket and joint mechanism. And then you can remove Optimus's hand. And you can pop that in there. And that looks super cool. Yes, yes. Totally, totally completing the look. And you might be wondering what's on the other side over here. Well, that is an adapter for your Defender Prime. But I'll just kind of remove that for now. And I'll show you one other aspect, and that is Mr. Roller. Mr. Roller is designed to natively work with the trailer, as I mentioned in the short, in case Prime is having a bad day and he needs a day off or he's on vacation. And that's great. That's great. That's great. We rarely see Roller in the cartoon lugging the trailer along. And so I'm glad that that play pattern is baked in. Goodness, what is wrong with me? I can't even talk. And if we wanted, we can remove the trailer and add the blaster for the... There's a word that YouTube doesn't like that I found out. It begins with the B, but it means kind of like combat. And but yeah, you can add that to the front, and so he's ready to pew pew to his heart's content, and he looks very nice. But this trailer's not going to pull itself, right? And so that's where this adapter comes in. And this adapter, you can just kind of plug in right there, and it'll kind of pop in. And this part will connect to your Defender Prime. And so to configure this, you're just going to pop this off, and that will allow you to remove the repair bay bit, and then you can affix this and pop that back on. And oh, that's such a good look, dude. Beautiful, sweet nostalgia coursing through me. So nice. And of course, if we wanted to add that extra bit, we can add the little repair bay thing. And wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I was getting confused. I was like, wait a minute. And cool. And so you can have that sit over there. And that'll close up nicely. I will say the only one thing that it doesn't do is that if you remember in the original version, and you can see this kind of like cutout, this outline over here, this was supposed to be able to swing up and spin around. And this you can kind of close it up so it hangs out on the top over there. That's not included. And so, yeah, minor, tiny gripe, and I don't really care too much. But once we remove that, you can kind of configure this to go up, bend this down, and you can grab your favorite Prime and have the repair bay activate, and that is just so cool, man. As the kids say, what is it? That is so based. But yeah, that's really nice, dude. And again, I really applaud Blockies for releasing subsequent versions and enhancements to pre-existing toys that were released in the previous line, allowing you to really kind of maximize and fulfill the play potential of that toy. And so again, applause and kudos to the kind and wonderful geniuses at Blockies. And moving on to the Jetfire segment of the video, here he is in both his alt mode and his bot mode. And the reason why I call this guy so intriguing earlier is like, dude, there are so many play patterns and little hidden gimmicks about this guy. And I'll show you in a second why Wheeljack is here. What's really great is that these are little ports for the feet to plug into. And that's awesome, because this is the first time that I'm actually seeing that. And this will kind of close up when you don't need it. And that's very nice. And down over here, it has some posts as well, allowing your favorite little Defender figure to kind of hang on for the ride. And I think that's very well done. In terms of the bot mode, dude, it has a face swap gimmick that you can do by just popping that off and flipping the head around. And yeah, he has that mask kind of looking like a VF1S, Veritech, or Valkyrie, right? And the face, the standard face, is just hidden by the backpack, so you don't really notice it at all, and I think that's just really, really smart. And oh, by the way, they have a new blaster, you know that? This is the new default blaster for the Defender line. Previously it was this, and that kind of looks like a Star Wars blaster, but now they've switched over to this thing that kind of looks like a blaster that should come with Blitzwing, who ironically does not come with that. But that's fine. That's fine. I do wish I got the white one, and as much as I love Shattered Glass, I'm a big fan of the standard white and red, and so, but yeah, but that's cool, man. Let me show you the alt mode. The alt mode is all sorts of nuts, dude, and what I mean by that is, like, dude, there is, like, a hidden mode here, because look, you see those little, like, ball sockets? That's meant for something, and it's not something that's natively included with this Jetfire, and so another thing that I've discovered is, like, if you remove this bit, and you remove this backpack, actually, it almost looks like you can put this together. This is what Jetfire would look like, right? And like these bits over here, dude, it looks like things could plug in, and you could have like a large pair of legs or something like that. And what if there was something that could plug in there that created the structure for shoulders and a head? That would be off the chain, man. Like, real talk, right? That would be so, so crazy if it could do that. And there's also some hidden parts over here as well. You can see that these are the legs. You can just swing these down so you can pop them off. Yo, they have feet. They have little, like, thrust your feet things that you can flip out, as almost as if it's implying that it's meant to transform, because this could have just been one solid piece, you know what I mean? And so this is just a lot of interesting stuff about this. I don't exactly know what it is, but I feel like there's something there, and I hope that there is some type of upgrade kit, because it would be awesome, because if that were to connect over here and you can make a larger Build-A-Figure Jetfire, it would be the proper scale with the Defender toys, because he's a big boy, right? And so you might be wondering, well, how does Wheeljack come into play, right? So check this out. Just pop Homie's legs out. I mean, it doesn't have to be Wheeljack, but I just had Wheeljack on hand. And so just pop those off the sockets. Bruh, you're embarrassing me on camera, please. Cool. And you can just pop that in here. And then spin that around. And if you're familiar with the Macross Robotech lore, you know that the planes have a Gerwalk mode. There's one version that doesn't have the arms. Like the Super Ostrich, it doesn't have the arms. But the other ones do. But you can do this. And so I think that's very cool. And if you happen to have one of these things, and you're like, what is that? No, they're not bugs. This is actually from the Blockies BFC Universal Connector Kit. You can actually take, I'm looking for the ball joint to ball joint connector. Sorry. I should have prepped this before. But yeah, there's all sorts of like different adapters in here. And I think I got it. Yeah. Pretty cool, right? I've done a separate video on this, and you can check that out as well. And so what you can do is you can take Wheeljack's arm, and you can remove that. And then you can plop in that universal connector. And then you can plug that bad boy in there, dude. Yeah. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time for full-on Gerwalk, or Guardian for those of us in the US. Once again, just kind of pop that in there. And then we'll pop that bad boy in there. Yo, that's full-on Gerwalk, baby. Yes. That's so cool, right? That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, this guy has some crazy stuff going on with him. And I just wish I knew more. I wish I knew what was officially planned for him. But for the time being, you can fake fan mode this Gerwalk, and I'm loving it. I'm a firm believer that every Transformer that turns into a jet should have a Gerwalk. And I'm happy that my man does over here, dude, as I'm humming the Robotech theme in my head. Very, very cool. Again, dude, I love Blockies. Moving on. All right, here we are with Shattered Glass Soundwave. Now, he is new to DV05, and you can tell he's the same mold over here. The deco obviously is different from the standard Soundwave just because one's Shattered Glass and one is not. But what I can really appreciate is that headband. This is a completely new head sculpt. You know, sometimes manufacturer will just go cheap and they'll just paint like a strip of green on top of this, but nah, man, it's raised. It's a completely different head sculpt than him. And you can see even in the back where the bandana ties and stuff. So cool, man. Because, dude, it costs money to make new molds like this. And so a lot of times people will just forego that. And it's not like they just kind of like slipped on a bandana mold. Nah, dude, it is a completely new head. And so really, again, so happy to be seeing this type of stuff in a manufacturer. It just means that they have the proper values, you know. Great toys at a great price, and that's why I called them kind earlier. I think they're doing everything right in their space. I would have loved to have seen a tiny little tape come with him, but you know, that's fine because these guys are so small as it is. But yeah, to be able to have a tiny little laser beak or something that could perch in his hand, I think that would have been super cool. He has the very all too familiar blaster. The same thing with the little shoulder accessory as well. You notice that I'm using the words blaster and accessory and stuff like that. It's because, dude, YouTube won't promote your video if you have too many of those words. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, nice little Decepticon symbol. Nice little chest bit over there. And no, everything is good, dude. The paint deco, which I keep emphasizing because that's one of their hallmarks. It's really done well in this piece. And he pairs up very, very nicely with Homeboy. This and the gold version, which I misplaced because I wanted to show them all together. But anyway, moving on. Okay, so this is the only guy in this set who doesn't really pair up with anybody. He's just kind of by himself. But you know who he does pair with? More of him. And so while I generally don't purchase seconds and dupes of Blockies figures, dude, I need the rest of them. I need 2 more of these. And looking at this, I can't really tell if he has a camera mode because the legs don't really convincingly fold up. I mean, they are limited in terms of like the range of motion and stuff. Like this won't fold up. This is like the best it could do. And you know what I mean? It doesn't really turn into a perfect block, even though they're called Blockies. It doesn't do the thing. It doesn't do the thing. And I would have been tickled pink if they could. But at the same time, I think tickled pink. Why did I say that? I think their license prohibits them from making transforming figures. People can fan mode them, things like that. And so I'm hoping if I get 2 more, I could try to do something with it, but I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, the head sculpt is really, really done well. Very beautiful. And look at that chest, dude. Really cool. Some type of like data matrix gimmick thing going on over there. Nice little camera lens, even with the little shutter stuff. That's so, so nice. And this back piece as well. I don't really remember what the back of, well, they call him Viewfinder, what Viewfinder looks like, but I don't know. That kind of looks familiar to some extent. And so, yeah, no hate from me. I think he's done very well. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. And here we have the Lambo brothers, and both of them are included in this set. So cool. Sunstreaker was one of my favorite in the Galaxy line. And here, and dude, he has these little posts over here. Very interesting. Very interesting. When I see stuff like this, I'm always thinking like, is this alluding to something greater? Is that going to combine with something? But either way, that's really nice. And no, it's cool, dude, because it makes it look like it can like combine with something, right? Notice that he has the what is it? The jetpack over here, because homie does not. And so all these tiny little things that they add to differentiate the figures from the previous iteration, they cost money. It doesn't come cheap. And so kudos again for them to be willing to spend that money in the sake of accuracy for the fandom and all of that. And the deco's done nicely. The little points on the top of the chest, the points on the ears. Very, very cool. The best diminutive Sideswipe, in my opinion, that is out there. And one of the things I was going to say is that a lot of times the shoulder missile changes position on the Sideswipes, but this is on the left, and since Blockies did it, hey, I'm going to say that it's canon, and so to me, it's always going to be on the left going forward. Yeah. Sunstreaker looks good as well. He has the little bat ears, and so that's very nice. Nice, cool little like smile. Great deco on the chest. Very, very nice Autobot symbol. And I like the way they did the deco over here. Rather than just have this clad entirely in yellow, half black, looks good. Killer Bees, Wu-Tang style, you know? Very, very, very nice. And what's cool is he has a pretty unique blaster. It's separate from all the other ones that, it's different from all the other ones that come packaged natively with the kit. And so again, just my mind is wondering, he has so many cool little gimmicks about him. I know that this is meant to store, like I believe in the literature, it shows that this stores on the back, and I think that's very cool. But I think what you can do is if you pop this off, you see how that there are ports there as well. I would imagine, oh no, it doesn't. I thought it was just going to be able to fit like that so that you could squeeze two Sunstreakers together or something. But I am very curious. I am very curious if this width shares any type of spacing with another vehicle. Well, I'm gonna have to figure that out in my own time, but nonetheless, I am very happy that he does have some additional posts over there, because that can only aid in play patterns. And but yeah, dude, they didn't have to do all of this, dude, the blaster storage and stuff. And so once again, my hat tips to the wonderful folks at Blockies, and these are really cool, man. There's a lot of great things about DV05, but in terms of like just like cool factor, these guys might be the coolest in the set. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up with the Unicron Squad, and so just give me a second and I'll be right back. All right, to wrap up the video, let's check out the boys in purple and blue, the Unicron Squad. So in DV04, we got Scourge with the cursed no mustache. That looks so crazy. And we knew that the rest of the boys were on their way. And by the way, dude, looking at his wings right now, it reminds me of Desar's, doesn't it? Huh, I think that's kind of cool, man. But yeah, we knew the rest of the boys were on their way. And then we got Cyclonus here in DV05, and he looks like the most devious, evil little bunny rabbit kitty cat that you have ever seen. Dude, I really like the silver paint on his face, man. And all the purples and stuff as well, the different gradients and hues. This is Cyclonus. Like, when you look at it, you don't need to think twice. You're like, yeah, that's our guy, dude. That is our guy, Skywarp. I think it was Skywarp that turned to Cyclonus, right? And even on the back, the little canopy section for the alt mode, the wings just beautifully done. And the head sculpt, dude, the head sculpt is done really, really well, man. Loving the bunny ears. But of course, no set of the Unicron Squad and posse would be complete without Lord Galvatron. Look at that scowl. I love how they did the shoulders. These are raised as part of the torso, and then you can see his kind of like arms underneath. And yeah, his native shoulders are kind of small, so they can have clearance with these raised bits, but it's all done beautifully. The grays, the whites, and the little red abdomen, so cool. Same thing for the knees. He's so specialized. He has a sculpt all for himself because, you know, Galvatron got those knee highs, and so that's so nice. I wish there was some type of adapter that could convert this into an alt mode, because I feel like it's just right there with a couple of adapter pieces, and maybe I could fan mode one in the future, but for the time being, we can just kind of appreciate him as is. And so that's all sorts of beautiful, man. I'm telling you, dude, they are doing something special. So one more time to kind of wrap up the video, let me show you roll call. We have Galvatron. We have Cyclonus. We have Shattered Glass Jetfire. Super duper cool. Love that helmet. We have the trailer with Repair Bay and Optimus Prime over here. We have Roller. Oh, you know what? Just so that we could look at it one more time, let's add Defender Prime. Yeah. Oh, I was like, yo, where's the face piece? Yeah, now you can combine trailer with Defender Prime. We got that. We got Roller. Who else we got? We got the Lambo brothers. Sunstreaker and Sideswipe, the most handsome pair in the set. Still think that. I think they got the coolest cool factor. So redundant. Play patterns and gimmicks aside. Then we have Transclearance Optimus Prime. Shoutouts to MGO. We have Viewfinder, aka Refractor, aka Reflector. And last but not least, we got Gerwalk, Jetfire, Skyfire, alt mode. And yeah, that's been the video. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a ton of fun reviewing this set, and I hope you enjoyed yourself too, okay? Bye-bye.